Just a short demo of a little utility to keep the Thea Darkroom window on top of Blender, and also keep track of its size and position between interactive rendering runs. It's just for Windows, and the current name of the exe is Thea Remote Darkroom Keep on Top. It's just version 01. It's very simple. You can run it now, or you can run it after you start Blender. We start Blender, and here's a just the default cube, and I've already saved this, so if I start the render, here it goes. This is the typical startup position and size, and if you spin this around, it goes away. It's stuck back here, and if you resize it, it goes away, and the next time you start the render, it's back to its normal size and it goes away. So probably doesn't matter if you run it while the rendering is going, but if you just now, with Blender sitting there, go over and run this utility, it's going to stay on top just until you start actually monitoring the window. It just keeps looking for the Thea Darkroom, and if it finds it, it brings it to the top and looks at what size it is. So I can go back to Blender, and this is still up here. So anytime I can hit monitor, this is how you start it. And this is the fact that it hasn't found any windows that say Thea Remote Darkroom. And that has to be the caption of the Thea Remote Darkroom. If that changes, for some reason the developers change that, this won't work anymore until it's recompiled. So there's no window out there right now called Thea Remote Darkroom. It's going to either find the one that is actually doing the interactive rendering, or if you do things like resize the window, what the plugin just did was create a hidden version of Thea Remote Darkroom, and this thing has found it, but it's ignored it. So it's running now, and it's looking for a visible window that matches that caption. So if I start the interactive rendering now, that utility, it's still running, but now it is not topmost, and it just goes away behind everything else. Okay, so here we are. Now it's interactive. It's staying on the top of the screen. I can size it. I can move it around. It's still logging. If I stop the IR and then just start it again, it flashes up here at its default position, but as soon as the little utility, which is running in the background, sees that thing, it goes ahead and makes it topmost and restores it to where it last saw this little window. So there it is, and you can stick this anywhere. You can actually bring it over here off of Blender and play with it and stop it. Oh, start it again. And there it is over there. So I think it does pretty much what it needs to do right now, and I know that developers are working on making this all part of the default system, so I'm probably not going to need this much, but for now it's working. Finally, you can just quit this thing anytime, exit. Now the render will still work, but it's not topmost anymore, and it doesn't remember the size. So that's about it.